Okay, so if you haven't noticed, this show really likes putting puns in its title. Like, yeah, we have Ghostbusters. I mean, I think every one of them have been at least, or most of them, I should say. Sonic Rain Boom, for example, wasn't really a pun, but most of the titles have been some kind of a pun. And now we have Stairmaster, which they're really going for it there. But okay. Anyway, this one starts out. The first thing we learn is that Sweetie Belle from episode 12, I think it was, is Rarity's sister. And I'm guessing they didn't have that in mind back when she showed up in episode 12 because she just literally came out of nowhere. They just didn't have, like, there was nothing to her. I mean, I'm guessing they didn't have anything in mind. She just came out of nowhere with Scootaloo and saved Apple Bloom. So, okay, so I'm guessing they're trying to tie her in a little bit more so she's not completely from out of nowhere. And if she is Rarity's sister, you have to wonder why we've never seen her around Rarity's house before. But okay, well, she's in there now, and she wants to help Rarity get her latest order of dresses done. And Rarity, yeah, she's really busy running around, so Sweetie Belle tries to get this ribbon that Rarity mentions she needs from the top shelf, and she accidentally knocks it over and causes a Rube Goldberg reaction where, yeah, the ribbon knocks over this thing, which knocks over this thing, which destroys the whole place. So, okay, typical annoying younger sibling gag there, and all things considered, Rarity is a pretty good sport, but, okay, so yeah, then Fluttershy drops by. She's returning Rarity's cat, because, you know, Fluttershy loves animals, so, okay, she's the only one who can groom Rarity's cat, which is really mean, without getting clawed, so, okay. But yeah, she's done a good job. But then the other two Crusaders show up, and yeah, I guess Rarity forgot there was going to be a big sleepover at her place that they had planned. I guess she'd agreed to, but now she can't do it though because she's too far behind. And Sweetie Belle, well, puts the nail in the coffin is that Sweetie Belle has messed up one more thing. She made their Cutie Mark Crusaders outfits out of a fabric Rarity needed, so now she's even more behind. Just can't do it. So yeah, then Fluttershy volunteers to take them, and Rarity tries to talk her out of it. And even though this is something Rarity could actually use to get Sweetie Belle out of her hair, and so yeah, they do that gag that the last Disney and Nickelodeon shows I saw. I mean, I my brother and sister used to watch these all the time. They do that joke where the character says something in a really obvious voice because it's supposed to be really funny that the truth is the opposite of whatever they just said. We all know that I'm a major stud, and then every other character doesn't think they're a major stud. So, or in this case, yeah, the girls are gonna be no trouble. So they are, and they not only do they do the joke, they rehash it I think 3 times because when Fluttershy's on her way out with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, which if you don't remember, that's what they call themselves, but I'm guessing most of the people who are watching this are fans of the show, but just in case. So anyway, yeah, she's walking 3 out. She runs into Twilight, who only shows up to say, "Well, are you sure that you can handle it?" Oh, there'll be no trouble at all. And they all sprout halos over their heads. And I mean, yeah, I think she says it one more time even, but okay, they really hammer it in. It's a bad joke, or I mean, it's I guess maybe I should give it a pass because this show hasn't beaten it to death yet, like the other shows have. So I'll give it a pass, but I should go a little easy on it. But oh, that is really annoying once you hear it. For the 3rd time it's annoying. The 500th time it's unbearable. Please don't go that route, show, please. But okay, so yeah. Anyway, but, okay. Fluttershy takes the Crusaders home to her cottage for the sleepover, and yeah, they just as Rarity warned, they're really rambunctious. They want to crusade for their cutie marks, which hence their name. Which, again, if you're somehow not a fan of the show watching this, the cutie marks are the marks they have on their flanks that determine what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. They show up once you've found the thing you were really meant to do. You know, once you hit that level of, once you find that thing that really makes you think you could do this for the rest of your life. So, okay. So yeah, they get right to work messing up the place. They demonstrate how they want to go into the dangerous forest from what we've seen here and there, the Everfree Forest, which is really dangerous. How they want to go in there and catch dangerous creatures, and yeah, they start chasing each other around to demonstrate. They break a table, and so now they want to be construction workers, and they mess that up too. So Fluttershy who was hoping for lots of feminine activities instead. What should you say? Tea parties, braiding each other's tails, and making use of the fact that their pony's there, or episodes from the old show of My Little Pony. Just whatever. She wants to do less rowdy things. So yeah, they don't listen. She tries challenging them to a game of Shut Up, which if they catch on a little quicker than I did at their age, they spend like 2 seconds staring cynically at her, and then one of them yells, I lose, me too, me three. So that's out the window. So finally, Fluttershy, she resorts to putting them to bed, and we get a pretty funny moment. She tries singing them a lullaby, and Sweetie Belle wants to join in because she knows this one, and she goes full-blown gospel choir, I guess, with it. It's a pretty fun little sequence. Like she gets a whole music video background to help her out. She's sitting on the moon while the stars are all jumping in unison to her, belting it out. And I mean, Fluttershy, it's the one thing that Fluttershy does that's pretty funny in this portion, where she's like, every time the noise goes off she can't stand, she's in the background having it's too much reaction, which, okay, so that was pretty fun. And then, but she wakes up all of Fluttershy's, and well, just her chickens I guess Fluttershy has a chicken coop, so before Fluttershy can stop them, they rush out there to help put them back, and they can't do that either. They're running around in circles. So, okay, Fluttershy, she gets out. She separates everyone. She rounds up the chickens, and she also shows her stare, which they mentioned earlier. I guess that's how she tamed the dragon from back in her episode 7. And she stares at with her eyes wide open, and it just causes whatever she's staring at to back off, to be totally quelled. So, okay. She tries putting them to bed. They promise no more crusading, and which they break the minute she shuts the door. And they notice then that there's chicken tracks leading away from the coop, so they figure one of the chickens got free, and now they can try to earn their chicken rescuing cutie marks. So, they venture into the forest. Fluttershy realizes that things are too quiet, and after looking at some convenient visual cues, she goes after them. And, okay, so they're in the forest, and now they actually start to become kind of funnier, I should say. Like, one of them, Apple Bloom, starts trying to call the chicken, Scootaloo, asks her why she's just making dumb chicken noises. That's not how you call a chicken, and they go back and forth with bickering that was a lot more inspired than it needed to be, I will say. I won't try to recreate it. You can watch that for yourself, but, okay. And then they also start going back and forth on how maybe their special talent is arguing, and Sweetie Belle shuts that down. Well, what would a cutie mark of arguing look like? And actually, I can think of a few things, but, okay. So Fluttershy follows them in. She's scared out of her mind, and, she finds Twilight again, who has been turned to stone. And of course, this can only mean that a creature with the body of a snake and the head of a chicken that turns things to stone by staring at them is wandering around. But, far-reaching conclusion from Fluttershy there. But, okay, it turns out that is what's happening. We see in a minute. And actually, that is a real mythological creature. A Cockatrice, it's called. And I forget when that one first showed up. But no, it is a real mythological creature. So, okay, she finds the Crusaders. She tries to warn them. They think a Cockatrice sounds silly as can be, but then they run into it at the same time as they find the chicken that they were looking for, and the Cockatrice turns the chicken to stone, which scares the heck out of the Crusaders. They go running, they spot the statue of Twilight, they're even more scared, they're just running in circles, scared. Fluttershy is trying to get them to listen, but I mean, it's too late, they're already cornered by the thing, and so she just tries to take charge. It's like, all right, behind me, now. And but she can't do much to protect them even so when she's closing her eyes. So, as a, I guess, desperate gamble, she resorts to staring it down, even though that would mean she could get turned to stone, or she should, from what we've seen from how this thing apparently works. And, she starts lecturing it, she calls it out, treats it like it's just some punk kid disobeying its parents, which, I mean, maybe it is, I'm assuming, but actually that was the idea. But, okay, so it tries to stare even harder to turn her to stone, but she presses on, she opens her eyes really wide, gives her her own stare back, and finally it relents. It turns everyone back, and now the Crusaders are completely won over. They totally respect Fluttershy now, and so yeah. The next day, then Fluttershy's talking about it with Twilight. They're all going on about the moral. I guess the real reason that Twilight was there was just so she could write the letters we always see her write at the end about the moral. And Rarity shows up to collect the three. They're running around the yard. They don't even hear her. So Fluttershy steps up, just says one word, no louder than usual. They all run. They're at her attention. So yeah, again, she's totally won them over. And that's the episode. Okay, this one is not as good as the last two, but I still think it's good. I would not say that it's. I would say that it's definitely above par for what we've seen. It doesn't just meet the standard, although the first half, I mean, it has all the energy of feeling Pinky keen for gags, but it doesn't have the timing. It just throws them on, flurry frenzy, and some of them hit, some of them miss. But I think in the second half, I thought the Crusaders were funnier. I mean, they had their funny moments in the first half too, but there were a few more misses there. Like I said, the really obvious joke where there'll be no trouble at all. They all sprout halos. Okay, but and then what else? Again, also better in the second half was Fluttershy, because the first half she was just kind of a lukewarm presence. Yeah, she wants to do girly things, and she just kind of fades into the background while the Crusaders run wild, and the Crusaders are pretty much all the same character now. So, okay, I mean, they're just supposed to be those gall-darn kids that run around, are full of energy, never settle. But I mean, that's fine. You know, if they're like this in all the episodes and they're done about as well, you know, they found ways to work with them, so that's fine. But okay, so yeah, Fluttershy though, even though that's her in the first half, in the second half, it seems like it's more about her stepping up to the plate. And in fact, this one, I mean, the dragon episode had her doing that too, but this one sort of takes a different angle, because instead of like a nightmare moon or a dragon or just this big overpowering monster, this one, it's just a monster. It's just I mean, like any wild animal you could run into. You don't want to, but and yeah, it's playing for keeps. It's like they sort of imply that, you know, this could be down here. I mean, it's like it's confronting the kids, and then the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and this isn't just like Nightmare Moon roars at the kids and the other ponies, and they all just cower, and she runs off to do her evil deeds. And this thing is going to take them out, and Fluttershy needs to stand in its way, even though she's not an adult either. And she's not an adult either. And so, okay, she needs to, though, step up to the plate as a parental figure here. And yeah, that's kind of an interesting angle to take. It's implies sort of that real world seriousness, level of consequences, and I mean, it does get you invested. So, okay, so I guess overall, both that and the Crusaders definitely stronger in the second half. Bring some worthwhile stuff to the table. Bring some good comedy, but like I said, the misses in the first half sort of drag that down a little. So overall, it's a good one, not a great one, but I don't know. From what we've had so far, I'd say this is definitely a little, above par. I was going to imagine an episode that just meets the standard right at the line and nothing more. I would have to say would be a little less than this. So anyway, job well done. So okay, next one is the Showstoppers. So okay, I think one of the comments said that it's the Cutie Mark Crusaders again. So I don't know. I'm guessing the show's deciding at this point what it wants to do with them, like whether it wants to use them a ton or not. So okay, well, we'll see. But so then, take care.